I found out my entire family had been lying to me for 8 months when I walked into my own surprise birthday party and saw my sister wearing my grandmother's engagement ring, the ring that was supposed to be mine. Let me back up, because the full picture is so much worse than that one moment. My name is Bryn, I'm 32, and I'm a civil engineer. I design water systems for developing communities. I'm proud of my work. I paid my own way through state school while my sister Corinne got a free ride to private university courtesy of mom and dad. I paid off my loans myself, built my career myself, bought my house myself. Corinne is 29, works in social media consulting, which, as far as I can tell, means she posts Instagram stories for local boutiques. She still lives in mom and dad's guest house, rent-free. That dynamic colors everything that happened this year. January 4th, I got a call from my mom at 11 p.m. My grandmother had passed away in her sleep. When I called mom's house an hour later, Corinne answered and sounded annoyed. "Bryn, it's late. We're all processing this." "I just wanted to check on mom." "She's asleep. I'll tell her you called." She hung up. At the funeral 3 days later, I tried to sit with my parents in the first row. Mom said the seat was saved for Aunt Linda. Linda showed up 20 minutes late and sat in the back anyway. After the service, I overheard Corinne telling relatives how she'd been staying with Grandma every weekend for the past year, reading to her, keeping her company. I had been visiting Grandma every Sunday for 3 years. Corinne had been there maybe 5 times total, but everyone nodded sympathetically at Corinne. 2 weeks later came the will reading. Grandma left me $15,000 and her book collection. She left Corinne $15,000 and her vintage jewelry collection, which included the engagement ring. The ring Grandma had promised me when I was 16 years old. We'd been sitting in her garden and I'd been admiring the ring. White gold, emerald-cut diamond, Art Deco from the 1920s. Grandma had taken my hand and said, "When you get married someday, this ring is yours, Bryn." Now Corinne had it. I pulled Mom aside. Did Grandma change her mind about the ring? Mom looked uncomfortable. "Sweetheart, Grandma's memory wasn't great at the end. The will was updated last year to be fair to both of you. But she promised me that ring specifically. She promised Corinne things too. Don't make this difficult." What could I do? Contest the will and look like a greedy monster? March rolled around. I'd been dating Julian for about 4 months, a marine biologist I'd met through work. Smart, funny, passionate about his research. I really liked him. I invited him to my parents' annual spring barbecue, big family event, about 40 people. Corinne cornered him by the drink cooler within 20 minutes. I watched from across the yard as she laughed, touched his arm, tossed her hair. He kept trying to step back, looking around for me. Then Corinne said something and his face changed. He glanced at me, then back at her, frowning. When he finally came back to me, he was quiet. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just, your sister is interesting." He left early, claiming a headache. He texted less over the next week. By the end of March, he'd suggested we take a break. I found out why in June. My colleague Shauna asked how I was doing after the breakup. "It was mutual," I said. "We wanted different things."
Shauna looked confused. "That's not what I heard. A friend of a friend knows Julian. Apparently he ended things because your family told him some stuff about you at that barbecue." My blood went cold. "What kind of stuff?" "Something about you being really controlling and jealous, and that you'd sabotaged your sister's relationships because you couldn't stand her being happy. Corinne had poisoned him against me, at my parents' house." I called her that night. "Did you tell Julian I was controlling and jealous?" Silence. Then, "Oh my God, Bryn, I was trying to help you." "Help me?" "He was asking questions about you, and I thought he should know what he was getting into. You can be a lot sometimes." "A lot?" "You hold grudges. Remember when you got weird about me borrowing your car?" You totaled my car, Corinne. It was an accident. See, this is what I mean. I hung up and called Mom. Were you aware that Corinne said things about me to Julian? Mom sighed. Honey, I'm sure she didn't mean anything by it. Corinne cares about you. She called me controlling and jealous. Well, you can be a little intense about relationships. Maybe she saw something you didn't see in him. So you think it's okay that she interfered? I think you're being dramatic. She absolutely did it on purpose, but my own mother was justifying it. May brought my birthday. I turned 32 on May 18th. Mom called a week before. So we're thinking of doing a little surprise thing for you this year. Mom, no, I don't want a surprise party. It won't be a party, just family. Trust me. I should have known better. May 18th, I came home from work around 6 p.m. I opened my front door and heard, surprise! My living room was full of people. Parents, Corinne, aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends, balloons, and a banner. And there, right in the center, was Corinne wearing Grandma's ring. Not on her right hand, on her left hand, ring finger. She was engaged. Everyone was congratulating her, asking to see the ring. My birthday had become her engagement announcement party. Mom rushed over. Surprise! Isn't this wonderful? 2 celebrations in one. I felt like I was underwater. When did this happen? This morning. Garrett proposed at sunrise. Corinne called us right away, and I thought, why not share the joy with everyone coming for your birthday? Why not hijack your eldest daughter's birthday to celebrate your youngest daughter's engagement with the ring that was supposed to go to your eldest daughter? Corinne floated over, hand extended. Bryn, can you believe it? I'm getting married. Congratulations, I managed. I know you're probably emotional about the ring, but Grandma would have wanted me to use it like this for its actual purpose, and you're not even dating anyone, so I didn't need it. Garrett appeared, a finance bro she'd been dating for 7 months. Your sister is amazing. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. The party continued around me. Someone had ordered a cake that said, Happy birthday, Bryn, and congratulations, Corinne, but Corinne's name was in bigger letters. Dad found me in the kitchen. Doing okay, kiddo? Did you know she was going to announce her engagement at my birthday? He looked sheepish. Your mom thought it would be a nice surprise. It's my birthday, Dad. I know, and we're celebrating you too. Look at all these people who came. They're congratulating Corinne. Don't be selfish, Bryn. This is a happy day for your sister.
Selfish? I was selfish for wanting my own birthday to be about me? After everyone left, Mom stayed to help clean up. That was a wonderful party. Everyone had such a good time. Yeah, you seem upset. I'm fine. Bryn, if this is about sharing your birthday, it's fine, Mom. She studied me. You know, sometimes I worry that you resent your sister. I looked at her. Why would I resent her? I don't know, but ever since you were kids, you've had this competitiveness with her. I've never competed with Corinne. Haven't you? You're always working so hard, achieving things like you have something to prove. And when Corinne succeeds at something, you get this look. What look? Like it bothers you. I was done. Get out. Excuse me. Get out of my house, Mom. Thank you for coming. Drive safe. She looked shocked, but she left. I sat, surrounded by birthday decorations and engagement celebration debris, and realized something. My family didn't just dismiss me. They actively preferred Corinne. Everything I'd accomplished meant nothing compared to Corinne's mediocre existence, because Corinne needed them and I didn't. I was just the responsible one, the boring one, the one who'd be fine on her own. The summer months blurred together. I threw myself into work, a major project in Guatemala that required 6 weeks. I missed most of the wedding planning drama. My Aunt Linda called me to vent. Your mother has lost her mind. She's paying for everything. The venue alone is $50,000. When I got back in late August, I had 47 unread texts from Corinne about bridesmaid dresses and bachelorette party plans. One text said, "You're my maid of honor." I responded, "I can't be your maid of honor. I have work commitments." She called immediately. "Bryn, you have to. You're my sister. Mom already told everyone you agreed." I was tired of fighting. Fine. September brought the bridal shower, which I hosted at my house. I spent $800 on food and decorations. 30 women showed up. When it was time for my speech, I kept it short. To Corinne, "May your marriage be everything you've ever wanted." Mom frowned. "That's it?" "That's it." October was the bachelorette party in Nashville. I paid for the Airbnb and organized everything. Corinne got drunk and made out with a random guy while her friends cheered. November was the wedding, December 7th at a vineyard. I stood next to Corinne in a $300 dress and held her bouquet. The wedding was beautiful. Mom cried. Dad gave a speech about his baby girl. No one mentioned me in any speeches. At the reception, Aunt Linda sat next to me. "You're a saint for putting up with all this." Or a doormat. "You're not a doormat, you're just kind. They don't deserve you." December 15th, I got a text from Mom. "Family meeting tomorrow at 2, don't be late." I showed up to find everyone already there. Mom, Dad, Corinne, and Garrett. "What's this about?" I asked. Mom smiled. "We wanted to talk about New Year's." Oh no. We thought it would be wonderful to have a big family celebration, really bring everyone together. "We were thinking," Corinne added, "that you could host it." "Host it? At your house?" Mom said brightly. "You have that beautiful big house, and you're so good at organizing. Remember the shower?" "We're thinking about 50 people," Dad added. "New Year's Eve is in 2 weeks," I said slowly. "I know it's short notice, but we have faith in you."
I looked at each of them, at their expectant faces, at their complete oblivious entitlement. "Let me get this straight. You want me to host a party for 50 people with 2 weeks' notice on one of the biggest party nights of the year? Well, when you say it like that, it sounds unreasonable," Corinne laughed. "What's unreasonable about it?" Mom asked. "You're not dating anyone. You don't have plans. Why can't someone else host?" "Our house is being renovated," Mom said. "Corinne? We just got back from our honeymoon. We're exhausted, and our place really is too small." "Come on, Bryn," Dad said. "It's just one party." Just one party. After a year of being overlooked, overshadowed, lied to, and used. After watching my sister wear my grandmother's ring at my birthday party while announcing her engagement, after paying for and planning her shower and bachelorette party while being treated like hired help, after standing next to her at her $50,000 wedding while I'd gotten dinner at Olive Garden for graduating top of my class, just one party. I smiled. "Sure, I'll host New Year's." Mom clapped her hands. "Wonderful. I'll send you the guest list." "I'll need a budget," I said. "For food, drinks, decorations?" "Oh, well, we figured you'd cover it," Dad said, "since you're hosting." Of course they did. "How much are we thinking?" "Maybe $2,000? That should cover everything." $2,000 for 50 people on New Year's Eve. "Perfect," I said. I left my parents' house and sat in my car for 10 minutes. Then I opened my laptop and started planning. Not the party they expected, the party they deserved. The next morning, I woke up with absolute clarity. I had 2 weeks to plan the New Year's Eve party my family deserved, not the party they wanted, the party they had earned through an entire year of treating me like I was disposable. First, I made a list. Every single thing they'd done to me this year, written out in chronological order. Grandma's ring, Julian, my birthday, the wedding expenses, every dismissal, every time they'd chosen Corinne. Every moment they'd made me feel invisible. The list was 3 pages long. Then I opened my laptop and got to work. I started with the guest list Mom had sent me. 53 people, to be exact. Extended family, family friends, some of Corinne and Garrett's couple friends. I studied each name carefully, making notes next to certain ones. Aunt Linda. Keep her. She was the only one who'd been decent to me. My cousin Michaela. She'd always been kind. About 7 people total who I actually liked. The rest, they were about to get exactly what they signed up for. Next, I created a beautiful digital invitation. Elegant font, champagne graphics, very classy. You're invited to ring in the new year at Bryn's home, December 31st, 8 p.m., cocktail attire. RSVP by December 20th. I sent it to everyone on the list. Then I sent a second private invitation to Aunt Linda and the 7 other people I actually liked. Change of plans. Real party starts at 6 p.m. Come early. Trust me. Linda called within 5 minutes. What are you up to? Throwing a New Year's Eve party. Bryn? I promise it'll be worth it. Just come at 6. Bring Michaela. She was quiet for a moment. Okay, I trust you. Over the next week, RSVPs rolled in. All 53 people confirmed. Perfect. I went shopping, but not for party supplies.
I bought ingredients for 7 people. Expensive ingredients. Wagyu beef, fresh lobster, truffle oil, imported cheeses, and good champagne. I planned an intimate 6-course dinner that would start at 6 in the evening and last a little over an hour. For the 8 p.m. arrivals, I bought exactly $47 worth of supplies. A bag of ice, 2 bottles of the cheapest sparkling wine I could find, a box of crackers. That was it. I also bought decorations. For the real party with Linda and the others, I went all out. Beautiful table settings, candles, real flowers, the works. For the main house, where the 8 p.m. crowd would arrive, I bought a single package of sad, deflated balloons and one of those Happy New Year banners from the dollar store, the kind that looks like it was printed on someone's home printer. December 30th, Mom texted, "So excited for tomorrow. Do you need any help setting up?" "Nope, I've got it covered. Can't wait to see what you've planned." Oh, she had no idea. December 31st arrived. I woke up at 8 a.m. and started cooking, the real meal, for the real guests. I spent the entire day preparing everything perfectly. By 5:30 p.m., my dining room looked like something from a magazine. Soft lighting, place settings with actual name cards, a floral centerpiece I'd spent 2 hours arranging. At 6 p.m. sharp, Aunt Linda arrived with Michaela. Then came my former college roommate Jade, my work friend Tomas, and 3 other people who'd been genuinely kind to me over the years. "Holy shit," Michaela said, looking around. "This is gorgeous." "This is the real party," I said. "The other thing starting at 8 is something else." Linda grinned. "I knew you were up to something." We ate. God, we ate. I'd made braised short ribs that fell off the bone, roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon, truffle mashed potatoes, a winter citrus salad. For dessert, individual chocolate lava cakes. We drank the good champagne. We laughed. We actually celebrated. At 7:30, I told everyone the plan. So, my family is showing up at 8 expecting a full party. What they're going to find is a mostly empty house with dollar store decorations and about $47 worth of refreshments for 53 people. Jade's eyes went wide. "You're joking." I spent exactly what I felt they deserved. They asked me to spend $2,000. I spent $2,000 on U7. On this meal, on making sure the people who actually care about me had a good time. "What about the rest?" Tomas asked. "They can figure it out." Linda raised her glass. "I have never been more proud of you." By 7:45, we'd finished dinner and moved everything to my study, a room at the back of the house with its own bathroom. I'd set it up with comfortable seating, a TV, snacks, and more champagne. The door had a lock. "You're hiding us?" Michaela asked. "I'm protecting you from what's about to happen." At exactly 7:58 p.m., the doorbell rang. I took a deep breath, checked my reflection in the hallway mirror, and opened the door. Mom and Dad stood there, dressed to the nines. Mom wore a sequin dress that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Dad had on a suit I'd never seen before. "Darling," Mom swept in, air kissing both my cheeks. "Oh, the house looks—" She trailed off, taking in the living room, the single sad banner hanging crooked on the wall, the deflated balloons scattered on the floor like someone had given up halfway through blowing them up, the completely empty dining room table.
"Where's the food?" Dad asked. "In the kitchen," I said. Mom walked toward the kitchen, heels clicking on my hardwood floors. I followed. Dad trailed behind us. She opened my refrigerator. It was completely empty except for my normal groceries and the 2 bottles of cheap sparkling wine. "Bryn, where's the food for the party?" "Right there," I pointed to the crackers on the counter. "That's crackers." "Yep." "For 50 people?" 53, actually. Dad's face was reddening. "Bryn, what the hell is going on? Where's the food, the drinks, the decorations?" "This is it." "This is what?" "The party. This is what $47 buys on New Year's Eve." Mom's mouth opened and closed. $47? We gave you a $2,000 budget. "No, you told me to spend $2,000 of my own money. I decided to spend it differently." The doorbell rang again, and again, and again. Within 15 minutes, my living room was packed with confused relatives and friends, all dressed in their best, all looking around at the pathetic decorations and complete lack of food or drinks. Corinne arrived at 8:20 with Garrett, wearing a gold dress that probably cost more than my car payment. She stopped in the doorway. "Is this a joke?" "Nope." "Where's the party?" "This is it." She looked around at the sad banner, the deflated balloons, the crowd of people standing awkwardly with nothing to eat or drink. "Bryn, what the fuck?" "Language, Corinne," Mom said, but her voice was tight. My Uncle Roger approached me. "Bryn, sweetheart, is there a problem with the caterer? Did something fall through?" "No caterer." "Then where's the food?" Before you start thinking I'm completely heartless, let me just say, if you're enjoying this story and want to hear how it ends, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing where you all are tuning in. Okay, back to the chaos. "There is no food," I said, clearly, loud enough that several people turned to look. "There are crackers on the kitchen counter, and 2 bottles of sparkling wine in the fridge. That's it." The room went completely still. Not silent. I could hear my aunt whispering to her husband, someone's stomach growling, the rustle of expensive fabric as people shifted uncomfortably. "Bryn," Dad said, his voice dangerously low, "what is the meaning of this?" "The meaning," I said, "is that I spent exactly what I thought this gathering was worth." "We asked you to host a party." Mom's voice was getting shrill. "No, you told me to host a party 2 weeks before New Year's Eve for 53 people and pay for it myself after everything that's happened this year." "After everything? What are you talking about?" Corinne demanded. "Really? You need me to spell it out?" "Apparently." I looked around the room, at all these people who'd watched my family treat me like garbage the past year. Some of them looked uncomfortable. Good. Fine. Let's start with January, Grandma's funeral, where I got pushed to the second row of my own grandmother's service, where Corinne told everyone she'd been visiting Grandma every weekend when I was the one who'd been there every Sunday for 3 years. Corinne's face flushed. "That's not—" Then the will reading, where I found out Corinne got the ring Grandma promised me when I was 16. Several people glanced at Corinne's left hand, where Grandma's ring sparkled. Then March, when Corinne told my boyfriend I was controlling and jealous, which ended that relationship. "I was trying to help you," Corinne protested. "Were you? Because he seemed pretty great until you poisoned him against me." Uncle Roger looked at Corinne. "You did what?"
Then May, when I came home to my own surprise birthday party and found out it had been turned into Corinne's engagement announcement, my birthday, my house, her engagement, it was supposed to be a nice surprise for both of you, Mom said. Was it nice when Dad called me selfish for wanting my own birthday to be about me? Dad opened his mouth, then closed it. Then I got voluntold to be Corinne's maid of honor. I paid for and planned her bridal shower, spent $800 of my own money. I organized and paid for her bachelorette party in Nashville. You offered, Corinne said. I was told I was doing it. There's a difference. And then I stood next to you at your $50,000 wedding that Mom and Dad paid for, while I got dinner at Olive Garden when I graduated top of my engineering class. Mom's face went pale. That's not fair. Isn't it? You paid $50,000 for Corinne's wedding. You paid for her college. You let her live rent-free in your guest house. What have you ever paid for me? Silence. And then, 2 weeks ago, you asked me to host this party with 2 weeks' notice for 53 people on New Year's Eve and pay for it myself, after spending an entire year making it very clear that I'm the responsible one, the boring one, the one who'll be fine on her own because I don't need you. I looked at each of them, Mom, Dad, Corinne. So I decided you were right. I don't need you. I spent $2,000 tonight on people who actually give a damn about me, on people who've been kind to me, on people who see me as more than free labor and a convenient host. Where are these people? Garrett asked, looking around. Somewhere you're not invited. Corinne's eyes were filling with tears, the manipulative kind. How can you be so cruel? Cruel? I'm cruel? I laughed, and it sounded harsh even to my own ears. I'm not the one who stole my sister's ring. I'm not the one who sabotaged her relationship. I'm not the one who hijacked her birthday. I'm not the one who spent a year treating her like she's invisible unless I need something from her. That's not what happened, Mom started. That's exactly what happened, and you all went along with it because it was easier than holding Corinne accountable for anything. My cousin Bethany spoke up from the back. Maybe we should just go get some food somewhere? Good idea, I said. There are plenty of restaurants open tonight. They'll be expensive, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're kicking us out? Dad's face was purple now. I'm not kicking you out. You can stay, eat crackers, drink cheap wine, ring in the new year in my living room with these pathetic decorations, or you can leave. I genuinely don't care which you choose. Uncle Roger cleared his throat. I think we'll head out. Thank you for, well, Happy New Year, Bryn. He ushered his family toward the door. Other people started following. The exodus began. Aunt Bethany stopped in front of me. You know, I always thought you were too good for them. Thanks, I said.
Within 10 minutes, 40 people had left. Only my parents, Corinne, and Garrett remained, along with a handful of relatives who seemed too stunned to move. I can't believe you did this, Mom said. Her eyes were wet, but I couldn't tell if it was genuine emotion or rage. How could you embarrass us like this? Embarrass you? This isn't about you. You humiliated your sister. No, I held up a mirror. If Corinne feels humiliated, maybe she should think about why. Corinne was full-on crying now, mascara running down her face. Garrett had his arm around her, glaring at me like I'd physically attacked her. You're jealous, Corinne said through her tears. You've always been jealous of me. Of what, exactly? Your lack of career? Your dependence on Mom and Dad? Your fiancé who you cheated on at your bachelorette party? Garrett's head snapped toward Corinne. What? Oh, you didn't tell him? I smiled. Nashville. Some random guy at the bar on Broadway. Your bridesmaids thought it was hilarious. That was nothing, Corinne shrieked. It was just kissing. Just kissing, Garrett repeated slowly. Garrett, don't listen to her. She's lying. I have photos. Your maid of honor posted them on Instagram. They're probably still up. Garrett pulled out his phone. His face went from confused to shocked to furious in about 30 seconds. We're leaving, he said. Garrett,
Now, Corinne. They left. Corinne was sobbing. Garrett's jaw was clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. That left my parents and 3 shell-shocked relatives who apparently had nowhere better to be. I hope you're happy, Dad said. Actually, I am. For the first time in a year, I'm happy. You've destroyed this family. No, I've just stopped pretending we're something we're not. Mom's face crumpled. We love you, Bryn. Do you? Because it sure doesn't feel like it. Everything we've done has been for Corinne. Everything is always for Corinne. She's the baby. She needs help. She needs support. What about what I need? You never asked for help, Dad said. I shouldn't have to. I'm your daughter too. Finally, something cracked in Mom's expression. She looked old suddenly, tired. Maybe we made mistakes, she said quietly. Mistakes? Mom, you let Corinne wear my grandmother's ring to announce her engagement at my birthday party. You asked me to plan and pay for a party for 53 people with 2 weeks' notice after a year of treating me like I don't matter. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. Dad was shaking his head. What do you want from us? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything from you anymore. The 3 remaining relatives quietly slipped out. I heard the door close behind them. My parents stood in my living room surrounded by deflated balloons and shame. We should talk about this, Mom said, after everyone's calmed down. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. You've been making it for years. I'm just done accepting it. Bryn, please. I think you should leave. They left. I locked the door behind them and walked back to my study, where the sound of laughter was spilling out. I opened the door. Linda, Michaela, Jade, Tomas, and the others were playing Cards Against Humanity, glasses of champagne in hand. How'd it go? Linda asked, grinning. Exactly as planned. Did anyone cry? Oh yeah. Michaela handed me a glass of champagne. You're my hero. Within 10 minutes, 40 people had left. Only my parents, Corinne, and Garrett remained, along with a handful of relatives who seemed too stunned to move. I can't believe you did this, Mom said. Her eyes were wet, but I couldn't tell if it was genuine emotion or rage. How could you embarrass us like this? Embarrass you? This isn't about you. You humiliated your sister. No, I held up a mirror. If Corinne feels humiliated, maybe she should think about why. Corinne was full-on crying now, mascara running down her face. Garrett had his arm around her, glaring at me like I'd physically attacked her. You're jealous, Corinne said through her tears. You've always been jealous of me. Of what, exactly? Your lack of career? Your dependence on Mom and Dad? Your fiancé who you cheated on at your bachelorette party? Garrett's head snapped toward Corinne. What? Oh, you didn't tell him? I smiled. Nashville. Some random guy at the bar on Broadway. Your bridesmaids thought it was hilarious. That was nothing, Corinne shrieked. It was just kissing. Just kissing, Garrett repeated slowly. Garrett, don't listen to her. She's lying. I have photos. Your maid of honor posted them on Instagram. They're probably still up. Garrett pulled out his phone. His face went from confused to shocked to furious in about 30 seconds. We're leaving, he said. Garrett. Now, Corinne. They left. Corinne was sobbing. Garrett's jaw was clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. That left my parents and 3 shell-shocked relatives who apparently had nowhere better to be. I hope you're happy, Dad said. Actually, I am. For the first time in a year, I'm happy. You've destroyed this family. No, I've just stopped pretending we're something we're not. Mom's face crumpled. We love you, Bryn. Do you? Because it sure doesn't feel like it. Everything we've done has been for Corinne. Everything is always for Corinne. She's the baby. She needs help. She needs support. What about what I need? You never asked for help, Dad said. I shouldn't have to. I'm your daughter too. Finally, something cracked in Mom's expression. She looked old suddenly, tired. Maybe we made mistakes, she said quietly. Mistakes? Mom, you let Corinne wear my grandmother's ring to announce her engagement at my birthday party. You asked me to plan and pay for a party for 53 people with 2 weeks' notice after a year of treating me like I don't matter. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. Dad was shaking his head. What do you want from us? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything from you anymore. The 3 remaining relatives quietly slipped out. I heard the door close behind them. My parents stood in my living room surrounded by deflated balloons and shame. We should talk about this, Mom said, after everyone's calmed down. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. You've been making it for years. I'm just done accepting it. Bryn, please. I think you should leave. They left. I locked the door behind them and walked back to my study, where the sound of laughter was spilling out. I opened the door. Linda, Michaela, Jade, Tomas, and the others were playing Cards Against Humanity, glasses of champagne in hand. How'd it go? Linda asked, grinning. Exactly as planned. Did anyone cry? Oh yeah. Michaela handed me a glass of champagne. You're my hero.
We stayed up until 2 a.m. We played games, watched the ball drop on TV, toasted the new year with people who actually gave a damn about me. It was the best New Year's Eve I'd had in years. Around 2:30 a.m., after everyone had left or gone to guest rooms, I sat in my living room. The sad decorations were still up, the deflated balloons, the crooked banner. My phone buzzed. A text from Corinne. I hope you're happy. You ruined everything. I deleted it. Another text from Mom. We need to talk about your behavior tonight. That was unacceptable. I blocked the number. One more text from Aunt Linda. I'm so proud of you. That took guts. Love you. I smiled. I looked around my house that I'd bought myself, with money I'd earned myself, doing work I was proud of. For the first time in a year, I felt light. I didn't need my family to validate me. I didn't need Corinne's approval or my parents' attention. I didn't need to be the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who'd always be fine. I just needed to be fine with myself. I cleaned up the sad decorations, threw away the deflated balloons, and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to 23 missed calls and 47 text messages from various relatives. I deleted all of them. Then I made myself breakfast, sat on my couch with my coffee, and started planning my actual year. The career goals I wanted to hit, the trips I wanted to take, the life I wanted to build. A life where I came first. And you know what? I've never looked back. My family expected me to host their New Year's party after disrespecting me all year. Instead, I hosted the party they deserved and started the new year on my own terms. Best decision I ever made.